Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today we are playing with the Adept Cosmetics Element 115 palette. I've been calling this the Element 151 palette. I don't know why. It's 115, but here she is, and we're going to be doing some swatches and 2 looks with this palette today. So if that sounds good to you, keep on watching. Before we get too far into the video, if you've not already, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. I upload videos twice a week. It is totally free to subscribe, and I would love to have you back again on the channel to talk all things makeup. So this particular palette is not brand new, but I just picked it up in their last sale. This is what it looks like. I was particularly intrigued by these 2 swirly shades. This one looks more pink, and this one looks like the lightest shade actually when you swirl them all. I will show you swatches here. This has 5 mattes and 10 shimmers. Adept for me historically has always been more of a standout in their shimmers than their mattes, but their mattes are by no means bad at all. I love this brand, and yeah, I just was really excited to try this. Their shimmer formula in more colors, and not only that, but just the overall theming of aliens and Element 115 and seeing like the tessite, the UFO, conspiracies. All of these names are so fun, and this theme is so fun that I really wanted this one to add to my collection. And without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into look number 1. All right, so for this first look, I'm just gonna do something simple. I've got to be out the door in 7 minutes. So it's going to be something real easy, real cute. And I think I'm just going to do maybe Conspiracy as the matte, kind of match the shirt that I'm wearing today. And then I'm thinking about maybe doing Not Roswell on the outer corner, maybe deepening with Specimen, or maybe even Propulsion. I'm not sure yet. And then UAP on the inside of the lid. But we'll see how that goes. I've already primed my eyelids just like I do with any eyeshadow that's not like specific to this formula. I just feel like eyeshadow primer helps the pigment to be its most opaque as well as not crease on my hooded eyelids. So I just use it for all eyeshadows. I like the fact that this isn't like, oh my gosh, the most intense pigment, but that might be because I'm going in on kind of a fluffier, looser brush. This is the Ace Beauté P1 brush. This definitely seems like a color that I'm able to build up if you wanted it to be a more intense opacity, but I just want it to be a little in the crease moment. And next up, I'm gonna go, yeah, I think I'm gonna use Propulsion, this one here, with a Morphe JS6 brush. Just gonna throw a little of that in the outer corners. These mattes already, I can tell they feel just like the mattes I'm used to working with from the other Adept Cosmetics palettes that I have. If you've experienced their mattes before, they are very buildable. There is a bit of kick up in the pan, but it's not like anything intense or crazy. You might hear me tapping off my brush, but as you can probably see, we're not getting any fallout because I do like to do my complexion first. Okay, next up, I'm going to take a flat brush. I'm going to take this one from Clionadh. You can use whatever you want, whatever you have, and I'm going to go in with Not Roswell, which is one of the deeper shimmers, like a purpley looking one. And I'm going to put that in the outer portion, kind of overlap the matte that I just laid down. And I don't find with Adept shimmers that I need to usually use a glitter primer. In fact, I avoid it because with their particular formula, they have several different shimmer formulas, but with a lot of them, I find they're emollient enough that I actually get creasing if I do use a glitter primer with them, and I'm better off just letting them live their life. There is so much sparkle packed into this. Oh, it looks so pretty. And then I'm going to use UAP in the inner part of the lid here. These all seem like more of the smoother Adept shimmer formula that I've seen them do a lot more in their recent palettes. Oh, that's nice because it's kind of got a little bit of a bluey undertone to it to tie into that matte we used in the crease to start with. I prefer the more textured shimmer formula that they have, but this isn't bad by any means. And I feel like if you have more mature skin or eyelids, you might appreciate the smoother formula. And then I think I'm going to finish just going back into Conspiracy a bit, that first kind of tealy shade, to blend out the crease and add back a little bit of that color. But there's nothing in here that's like super light for an inner corner, honestly. So I think I'm going to use Extraterrestrial, which isn't super light, but it's this teal shade, just again to tie in the matte a little bit more, because I feel like I've lost that teal a bit, and to be a little matchy-matchy with my shirt. And I carried it a little bit onto the lower lash line as well, just a bit. I don't usually do a lot of shadow on the bottom lash line, just because I personally have so many folds under my eye that ends up creasing a lot. I don't know if that would be better if I did eyeshadow primer underneath the eye as well. Maybe I haven't really experimented with it. Maybe let me know if you've got similar folds and creases and crevasses on your face. I'm going to go ahead and do mascara, a lip, and I'll be back to show you the final first look. And here is the final first look. I had a really good time with this palette. Super easy. I feel like most of these colors are going to pair really well with each other. And even though I said something simple, like, I feel like this is a pretty complex look. We've got light to dark. We've got different shifts of shimmers, mostly the purple and the teal. I feel like those are the primary colors you're going to get with this palette. And yeah, I really, really like it a lot. If you're curious about anything else I'm wearing on my face, I'll have it linked in the description box. But yeah, I think that's all I have time for now, because I gotta go watch my baby niece. But for you, it'll just be moments for a look too. All right, so you're getting a totally different angle than normal, and lighting and just everything on the second look, because my regular camera died, and I don't have time to let it charge before I have to leave to film this. And I'm like already minus eyeshadow. So here we are. Hopefully it's fine for y'all. Or maybe you like this angle better. Let me know in the comments down below. But today, I'm going to focus on there here in the crease. And one of these I'm going to deepen with. I'm not sure which one yet. And then I think, because I'm wearing a similarly like teal colored shirt as to yesterday, then I'm going to go in with Extraterrestrial. And then I'm really curious about Weather Balloon. It looks kind of like purple in some shifts, but then green. I don't know. Again, I said this yesterday, but I feel like purple or teal or blue is like all you're going to get with this. There is this pop of like goldy yellow, and I haven't swirled these around yet to see what color you get when you mix them all. You'll see that in the swatches, but I haven't swatched this yet. So let's go ahead with there here and throw that in the crease just to start with. And I think I'm going to do both Propulsion and Specimen in the outer corner today. So I'm going to start with Propulsion. In look one, I finished it, and once I left the house, I was like, I feel like something's missing, and I realized what it was. I basically always do some kind of eyeliner, whether it's actual eyeliner, like a gel pencil, a liquid liner, or at least a dark shade along the lash line for shadow liner, which I feel like Specimen is the shade to do that with in this palette, but I did not. I feel like in my mind I meant to. I didn't dislike the look, obviously, without it, but in retrospect, I was like, oh, I think I would have liked it even more if I would have done just that little bit. So I'm just taking out on the outer corners, like the outer third here, that Propulsion shade, and then I'm gonna go an even tinier brush. So far I used, again in the crease, the Ace Beauté P1. I just used for the outer corner the Morphe JS6, and now I'm using a Morphe M456 to do Specimen. But I don't want a lot of Specimen. I just want it like at the very base or root of the eye here. And I'm going to diffuse it a little bit here, and then I'll get really precise to make it more intense and less diffused at the lash line once I've put the shimmers on. I like to do this like diffuse though, because it just gives it such a, to me, like an ombre kind of look as it feathers out. just more dimension, I think, to me. And then I'm going to go with my flat Cliona brush, just like I did yesterday, which was when I filmed the first look. And I'm going to start with that extraterrestrial teal shade. And I'm going to put that on the outer portion of the lid. I will say I did have a little creasing with my shimmers yesterday, which is unusual for me with Adept. I don't normally experience that. So I'm curious to see if that happens today. And I was inside all day. I wasn't like outside in the elements in the heat or anything. These are so sparkly, I will say. The creasing I had though, it wasn't terrible. Like I just did a little tap, tap, tap and it kind of fixed itself. So do with that information what you will. It wasn't like the end of the world for the look. And then Weather Balloon. Oh, I'm so excited to see what this one looks like. I'll put on the inner portion. So it almost looks like, how do I describe that? Maybe like taupey? It's like pewter maybe is a better word for it. Yeah, because it's got like a little bit of a smokiness to it more than a taupe would. I'm gonna stick with pewter for the best description for this one. Also super, super sparkly. I think you're gonna get that with all of the shimmers in this palette. That's really pretty. I don't know, again though, that could be an inner corner shade either because they're just all mid-tone or deeper. Maybe you could do gimbal video. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Maybe this gold one could be in the inner corner. I don't know that it would go for this look though. I'm gonna go ahead and do the liner now, just the Morphe M410. And I'm gonna go in with Specimen, which is the deepest. It almost looks like black when I hold it up to my phone camera here, but it's a super deep, I don't even think it's navy. I think it really is more of like a purple or a blurple. That's the shade I used before, but diffused it. And I'm just gonna put it like more intensely along the lash line. I think I like doing this because to me, it just always makes my lashes really, really pop more. I'm hoping you can see okay. I know it's not the most amazing angle, but again, just bear with me, please, with the current camera situation. I really should look and see what kind of battery it is to see if I can get another one. But in the same token, I have really been wanting to just upgrade my camera in general and get a DSLR camera. So I hate to buy a second one for a camera I'm just gonna replace anyway, or have that be like my backup or more like traveling camera. But I'm sure a lot of you can imagine the cameras are not super cheap. And with me being on a low buy for wedding dollars, a new camera is just not in the cards at this exact moment. And here is the finished look number 2. What do you guys think? I really, really like this one. I think I like this one better than look 1. It's a little bit more, I don't know if sultry is the right word, but just that little shadow on the lash line makes me feel like, oh yes, okay, here's like a look that I really, really like. Yesterday's was a little lighter. And that is everything, you guys. Swatches and 2 looks. Let me know in the comments which look you liked better, whether it be number 1 or this one I'm wearing now, number 2. I will say this is the end of the day, number 2. I'm filming this outro, and I did have a little creasing in the shimmer portion of the eye look on both looks. That's not something I'm used to from Adept Cosmetics, so I don't know if that's just, I don't know, this palette. If I need to try this particular formula with glitter glue. I know I said I usually don't with Adept, but the creasing is not normal, so do with that information what you will, but I'm really happy to have this palette. I will say I feel like blue or purple is pretty much how you're gonna go with this one, with the exception of you've got this pop of like goldy yellow, and then Classified is more of a pink shade, as you guys saw in the swatches earlier. But this one could be a fun companion palette, I feel, as well, with some of the other Adept or even outside of Adept palettes. Let me know your thoughts. Do you have this palette? Are you still eyeing it? Have you ever tried Adept Cosmetics? I would love to know, and I hope to see you again on the next one. Bye!